5 unresolved murder mysteries that have gripped true crime fanatics for decades. Dark mysteries where the killers remain unknown, the clues don't add up, and justice seems unattainable. Let's watch the story of a petite child bludgeoned in her own home and then vicious letters sent to torment investigators. These horrific crimes left even the smartest detectives confused. As each case unfolds, ask yourself, will the insights finally provide an answer, or only deepen the darkness further? Let's find out. Number 5. Lizzie Borden. On August 4, 1892, Lizzie Borden was accused of killing her father and stepmother. However, the true identity of the killer is still unknown. At the time of the murders, Lizzie and a maid named Bridget Sullivan were the only ones in the Borden house with Mr. and Mrs. Borden. According to Lizzie's testimony, she discovered her father dead with multiple blows to his head from a blunt object. Upstairs, she found the body of her stepmother. Initially, there were some suspicious circumstances. Lizzie had recently tried to buy poison and was accused of burning a dress in the stove. Additionally, Sullivan, who was suspected to be her accomplice, was seen leaving the house with a package on the evening of August 4. However, during Lizzie's trial in 1893, the court concluded that all the evidence was indirect. Lizzie was not found guilty, and no other individuals were ever arrested as suspects. Number 4. The Hall Mills Murder. In 1922, a small town was shocked by the murders of a pastor and a choir singer who were having an affair. The pastor, Edward Hall, and the singer Eleanor Mills left their homes to meet each other on September 14. When Hall didn't return that night, his wife and a relative searched for him. 2 days later, another couple found their bodies under a pear tree in a secluded area. Hall had been shot in the head, while Mills had been brutally attacked with multiple gunshot wounds to her face and her throat nearly severed. It was later discovered that her tongue and larynx had been cut out. The bodies were positioned close to each other. The case seemed personal. Although the affair was known in the town, both Hall and Mills' spouses claimed to be unaware, which raised suspicion among investigators and the media. Hall's wife, Frances, and her brothers William and Henry Stevens became prime suspects. However, despite efforts, the prosecution couldn't find enough evidence to convict the siblings. People seeking attention even confessed to the murders, and valuable physical evidence was destroyed by curious onlookers who trampled the crime scene. As a result, the murders of Edward and Eleanor were never solved. Number 3. The Black Dahlia. In January 15, 1947, a 22-year-old woman named Elizabeth Short was found dead in a residential area of Los Angeles. Her body was severely damaged that the woman who discovered it while walking with her daughter mistook it for a mannequin. This case quickly became a big deal. Short was given the nickname Black Dahlia because people believed she liked wearing black dresses and because of a movie called The Blue Dahlia, which was about the murder of a cheating wife. People portrayed Short as a carefree party girl who drank underage. Sadly, it seems that focusing on her wild lifestyle was more exciting to some than mourning her loss. The alleged killer even sent letters to the police, which made the media frenzy even worse. However, because most of the physical evidence has been lost over time and due to mistakes made by the police, and because many of the people involved are no longer alive, it is unlikely that any theory will ever be proven with complete certainty. The movie The Black Dahlia was also inspired by this widely sensationalized murder, starring Josh Hartnett, Scarlett Johansson, Aaron Eckhart, and Hilary Swank. Please press the like button and keep watching to find out the killer who murdered mostly young couples and wrote coded messages to mock the police. Number 2. JonBenet Ramsey. No one has ever been arrested for the murder of JonBenet Ramsey, a 6-year-old girl who won beauty pageants. She was found dead in her family's home in Boulder, Colorado on December 26, 1996. Early that morning, JonBenet's mother, Patsy, called 911 to report her daughter missing. A ransom note demanding $118,000 for return was also found in the house. However, a few hours later, it was discovered that JonBenet had never actually left the house. After conducting a second search, her father, John, found her body in the basement. She had been tied up, gagged, and killed by a blow to the head. The killer had used one of Patsy's paintbrushes and a piece of cord as a garrote. Investigators later revealed that JonBenet had also been sexually assaulted. Several suspects emerged, including a stranger who broke into the house, a family friend who dressed as Santa Claus for the Ramseys' Christmas parties, JonBenet's parents, and her 9-year-old brother, Burke. One reason why this case remains memorable is because the investigation was poorly handled. Soon after the police arrived at the Ramsey home, friends of the family came over to offer support. The police allowed them to freely move around the house, and some even helped Patsy clean the kitchen. These compromised any potential physical evidence that could have been crucial to solving the case. Number 1. The Zodiac Killer. The Zodiac Killer is a well-known serial killer in America. He committed his crimes during the 1960s and 1970s, targeting couples in secluded areas around San Francisco. One of his victims was Cherie Jo Bates, and he left a confession mentioning her and a warning. The media became fascinated with the Zodiac Killer due to his interactions with them. After his first murder, he started sending coded messages to different newspapers, mocking the police. He signed his letters with a symbol, a circle with a plus sign. One of his famous ciphers read, "This is the Zodiac speaking. By the way, have you solved the last cipher I sent you? My name is..." This was followed by a series of 13 symbols representing his encoded name. To this day, the code remains unsolved. The identity of the Zodiac Killer remains a mystery. Despite numerous suspects coming forward over the years, no one has been definitively proven to be the actual Zodiac Killer. Some well-known suspects include Arthur Lee Allen, who was ruled out because of his handwriting, and Earl Van Bass Jr., who was recently accused by his own son in a book called The Most Dangerous Animal of All. The unsolved murders have generated significant interest and have been extensively covered in various books and films, including the highly praised 2007 film Zodiac, directed by David Fincher. These chilling true crime cases continue to captivate us even decades later. Although time may have eroded some clues, the desire to uncover what truly happened remains as strong as ever.